Let me set the stage for you really quick. Um, I have a quiz and a paper due tomorrow. I have a midterm Thursday for my HTML and CSS class. Next week, I have two exams, like midterms, three quizzes, two papers, and two projects due. And I've been very stressed about that. As you can see, my bed isn't made. I'm starting to break out a little bit on my forehead, which happens every time I'm stressed. And I have pretty rough eye bags right now because I didn't get the best sleep last night. And I skipped class to study today. I just skipped a communications class. It's not that big of a deal. And I just got back from the library. I just got back studying for a couple of hours, and I'm definitely going to study more tonight. But I just got back from the library, and on my walk home, it's about a 15-20 minute walk. I thought to myself, why am I worried so much? Why do we worry? Why, as humans, do we worry so much? And that's not a question I can really answer because let's say hypothetically I fail this web development midterm, right? I'm not too worried about my quiz tomorrow. I mean, I don't know much about it, but it's 2.5% of my grade. And I got a 120 on the project for the class. It's my computer science class. I got a 120 out of 100 on the project for that class. So I'm not too worried, even if I get a zero. That's not too big of an issue for me. But let's say hypothetically, I get like a 13 on my web development exam. What would happen? And for a little bit more context, that class is interesting. There's something on my shirt. Something on my shirt. There's still something on my shirt. That class is interesting. It's divided into four projects. So four projects, one midterm and one final. So six big portions. There's nothing in between except for slideshows as like notes. And the original class was supposed to be an in-person class that consisted of multiple like smaller assignments and stuff like that. But a complication happened where I guess the class had to be moved online. So the class was it's very weird. But let's say I fail this midterm. I submitted my project 2 weeks ago. It hasn't been graded yet, so I don't know how well I did on that project for my web development class. I think I did pretty good. Um, it was a little bit restrictive because I already know HTML and CSS a good bit, and I emailed my teacher. I was like, hey, like because on the assignment it said the teacher said, hey, if you use any HTML or CSS that we didn't go over in class, you're going to be marked as zero for cheating. And so I emailed him. I was like, "Hey, I already know HTML and CSS a little bit. Can I use other stuff?" He's like, "No." So I was like, "Oh, okay." So I kind of self-limited myself on this project, but regardless, hypothetically, what if I completely just bomb this test? What if everything goes down the drain? What then? Because if I fail the class, like I believe if I fail this test bad enough that I have to withdraw, I still have time to withdraw. Not that in college, I don't know if it's the same for other universities, but at my university at least, there's a withdrawal period where you can withdraw from a class and not fail it. I think that's how that works. But if you withdraw from a class after this period, then you fail the class, which kind of makes sense. And I don't know when that time period ends. So if I fail this test so bad, which I don't think I will, I think I got it somewhat in the bag. But if I fail this test so bad that I have to withdraw, the worst case scenario is I have to take it next semester. That's kind of, you know, doesn't sound too bad. But I've never failed a class before. Not once in my life, I don't think. Which brings me back to my original question, why do we worry so much? I am so worried about this test. I'm so worried about the workload I have. But the worst case scenario is I fail and I move on. My life isn't going to be in danger if I fail these tests, if I fail these quizzes, or if I don't submit these papers on time. However, this is a very important however. That's not to say that I won't treat these objectives as if that's the case, if that makes sense. I tell this to every one of my friends. I go about my classes, I go about my exams as if I'm already failing. I go about my exams and my classes with the mindset of I need to get a super high grade in order to redeem myself. And that's worked pretty well for me so far. Oh, am I recording? Sorry, I just put this shirt in the dryer, and the sleeves are cuffing my arms really well. And also, it's not like I know nothing about this exam. I know nothing about the quiz, but the exam I know quite a bit of stuff about. As I said, I know a little bit of HTML and CSS, but there is a mock exam, and I did examine that a little bit. Uh, it's pretty tough. And also the thing with the exam, because it's an online class, I'm going to use my webcam to take this exam, and as you can see, my webcam stops at right about my chest, right above nipple level. I have a phone. I can just do 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 do. I need to stop getting sidetracked. That's my fault. So even though I am pretty confident about this test, even though I know I have a resource I can use if I get lost, and even though I have background knowledge in this field of study in which the exam is taking place, why am I still so worried? And I don't really know. I mean, I guess I can attribute it to the fact that the outcome is unknown, which, in my opinion, is the reason for fear itself. You know, like the reason we fear is because we just don't know. But if we knew everything, then life wouldn't be fun. So it's up to you to determine whether you're going to if you're riding your bike, you're going to take this new trail or not. But the trail is slightly darker, more woody, more like snakes on that trail. What I'm trying to say is, it's up to you to determine whether that new trail is going to be not accessible to you by fear, or accessible to you by just, oh, I don't know where it would lead. Maybe it could lead somewhere great. Maybe it could be fun. But there's also that risk of getting hurt. So what I'm trying to say, we dictate the difference between fear and unknown. Unknown causes fear, but it's not the other way around. Unknown is not fear, but fear is the result of not knowing what's going to happen, if that makes sense. I'm kind of rambling on a little bit. It's hard for me to wrap my head around this because it's always been something I've been wondering about, especially within myself. Like every single time I have something that comes up like this, like a lot of work, a lot of assignments, or I have to talk to someone important, or like a job interview, I'm always super worried, and then it ends up being fine. It like more often than not, because sometimes something messes up, but more often than not, it ends up being perfectly okay. And you could be watching this video and you could be thinking, well, why don't you just keep it in your head that it's going to be okay and stop worrying? Because worrying mm, significantly decreases your performance in everything. I wish I knew. I wish I knew why I worried like this. I wish I knew why I was so anxious. I wish I knew why I couldn't just get it in my head that everything's going to be okay, because I honestly don't know that. I honestly don't know what's going to be on that test. I honestly don't know if I'm going to be able to submit all these papers next week. I don't know. And it's kind of scary. Which brings me into the next part of this video. Part, I guess? I don't know. The next portion of this video. Being scared is completely fine. Not knowing, that's completely fine. I know a lot of people, and I see a lot of people be afraid, like they don't know what they're getting into, or they don't know the result of what they're getting into, and they hate themselves for it. They think they're stupid. I don't think I'm stupid. Well, I could be smarter, but I'm not an idiot, right? I hope not. I'm not a bad stupid guy, but I'm still very scared. I'm still very afraid. And this ties back all the way from me moving into college. Like I back when I still drove the Focus, I was addicted to that thing. I mean, I'm addicted to the Subaru right now, but I still have to park my car 15 minutes away, like I've said in my previous videos. But even before I moved here in this dorm room, I was super anxious because I knew my car would be 15 minutes away. It's like a mile and a half walk. That's a long distance. And just being able to go to sleep at night knowing that my car could be being broken into, it worried me. Not that anything valuable was in my car, but it kept me up at night even before I moved into the storm room. And then in reality, once I moved in, I drove my car over there, dropped it off, walked back here. It was fine. I mean, granted, there's other nicer cars in that lot. Like my roommate over here drives a Genesis G70. Whew. So now it's my turn to ask you, why do we worry so much? Why do you think we as humans worry so much? Is it because we know? Is it because we're not ignorant? Why? Just why? Also, I don't know if you caught that. The little last part. The is it because we're ignorant or not ignorant part? Is it because we have knowledge? That's a future idea for a future video, so absolutely please stay tuned for that. That's going to be a banger. But yeah, ask yourself and try and answer me. Try and talk about it in my comments because I love it when you guys comment on my stuff. I love being able to click that little heart icon. I love being able to read all your comments. Some are pretty funny, some are a little bit strange. You know who you are. Also, another quick side note, check out my shorts. I uploaded 2 videos into shorts. I think the first one was the I-19 video, and the second one was, the gym rant video, I believe, and they're doing pretty good. Check those out, please. But for now, I'm gonna get back to studying, and I'll see you guys later.